Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink. Today we're going to talk about intermediate smooth jazz guitar and specifically the Mixolydian mode, which is quite a challenge. I'm going to show what we're going to talk about. Stuff like that. Looks quite wild. Well, if you know the trick, it's not so wild, and I'm going to show you the trick, not the licks. It's not about, when you want to improvise over a mode, you can learn licks, that's cool, but from my experience, it's better to understand the system and to get familiar how you view a specific mode or a specific situation, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, first maybe the sound settings. As you can hear, I'm using a Vibra King amp with some gain. I like it when you play Mixolydian, you should, from my point of view, it doesn't have to be for you guys, but from my point of view it has to be a little bit bluesy, so you have slightly distorted. So we want to also add a bluesy touch because Mixolydian mode is mostly connected to blues guitar, and we want to bring in kind of a blues touch to the system of the Mixolydian mode. So let's get started. Okay guys, what is another path to your ability to solo over the entire fretboard with the Mixolydian mode and stay always in control and be cool? It's understanding the system, how you can view the Mixolydian mode on the fretboard. Most of the guitar players come from the pentatonics, so you probably know the minor pentatonics. By the way, this backing track is in just D7, so we want to figure out D7 now. So we have D minor pentatonic. That's the D minor pentatonic, and down here we taking position 4 and position 1 of the pentatonic. So D minor pentatonic in the two main positions. There, around these two things, we build the whole system. That's very important. Now, since we are in Mixolydian is not a minor mode, it's a major mode. So we, instead of playing the minor pentatonics in this position, we play the D major pentatonic in this position, which is, here's the D. Okay. This is position 4, major pentatonics, and here we have position number 1, major pentatonics. So this stuff is going to be your orientation, okay? So, now, additionally, we learn the entire Mixolydian mode inside the major pentatonics, which is so this will be the Mixolydian mode inside the major pentatonics. Same here. And now, last but not least, learn the Mixolydian mode 3-note per string in this position, which creates us this figure here. Why do we also need to learn the 3-note per string thing? Because, as you can see, when you're playing in the lower position, it builds the bridge to the higher position, because here we are already in the high position. So we build up the whole thing down here, use the 3 note per string to make the connection to the high position. Same now, high position. We're doing the 3 note per string Mixolydian mode. Here it will be like this. So what we do here? We went up here in the 17th fret. Why? Because here we're back in the lower position of figure number 1. So we have the connection. This connects to this position, and this 3 note per string connects to the higher position. That's the framework within you can start working. Okay? So that doesn't mean you have to play these 3 note per string scales really fast. They just help you as an orientation point between the two islands which we build. Okay? So that's really important. Now, next thing is that you learn which is the root note, which is the triad, which is the flat 7, and therefore you just count through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. So when we talk about Mixolydian mode, it's not to play the run, it's about understanding which are the notes. Same here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. Okay? Now you also can do this here with the major pentatonics. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Or here 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You just shuffle around numbers. And now if you want to play typical Mixolydian licks, it's always something around playing an approach note on the 3, on the triad. So, as an example, something like this. 1, approach note to the 3, and that already sounds quite bluesy, doesn't it? Or here in the down position. Okay? And let's try this already in the backing track and see how that works. Already sounds the way it should, doesn't it? So this is really the central point of mastering the Mixolydian mode in this type of genre. Well, in any type of genre, but specifically when it gets jazzy, you always work around with the approach note on the triad. Now, a question could be, why is it not on the root note? I'll show you, because it doesn't sound good. Well, it can. Some tunes use the approach note on the root note. Also on the 5 you can also do, but it's doesn't really sound cool. It's basically the triad, which sounds quite cool. Now you can work this around this concept on specific. Let's do this lick here. So now what did I do? I played the major pentatonic. Now I switched to the approach note of the triad, resolved, and went back to the root note. Okay? We can also do this in this position. Same thing here. Let's do this. whatever you do, you can also do something like this. What did I do here? Approach note again on the triad, and then just an arpeggio, D major arpeggio. If you just do, it doesn't sound bluesy. The approach note brings in the vibe of Mixolydian and blues. You can also do this here. So what is really crucial, that you know where the chord notes are. This is the 1, 3, the 5, and where the approach note is on the triad, and then you can start working with that stuff. And it doesn't has to be wild, you know. You can do stuff which is quite, so whatever. And then you switch between positions as you wish, because you learn with only 2 patterns to master the entire fretboard. Okay, you can do 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1 inside the 3 note per string pattern, and then you're already cool to go. Then you add an approach note, and then it sounds like blues. Let's do this. And the more you do stuff like that, the more you can connect positions and feel where you want to go. That's basically the system, how it works. You play around the chord notes and always keep the approach note in mind, and then you start working around. I'm going to show you a little lick here as an example. This one here. What is this? Basically, it's the major pentatonics. Just a long major pentatonic click. But this way it doesn't sound really cool. You add the approach note, and that's it. And then you probably go. Is always the approach note which makes the bluesy touch and gives you the extra meat to your licks. And then it starts working. So your task is not really to learn the licks. If you want, you can learn the licks. But I've seen many players playing licks and no clue what they were doing. What would be way better, and what is now the part of this tutorial here, is that you understand the system, how you start working with Mixolydian, the Mixolydian mode. Well, basically this is a system which works in all modes. That's how you work with modes. But specifically on Mixolydian, where you really always target this approach note to make it sound the way a Mixolydian mode should sound, you know. And use the knowledge you already have, as I already mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial. Minor pentatonic in 2 positions, same position, major pentatonic. Build up your fretboard geography from there. Once you have this, then do the 3 note per string. Understand the connection between this position and this position. And then start with easy licks. And figure out where's the approach note on the triad. you can do if you want also on the root note on the fifth, but you will find out quite fast that it doesn't sound too well. Well, it depends. I mean, for my ears, maybe for your ears it sounds cool, then go for it. It's not that that it's has to be my way, you know. Yeah, and then with this simple structure, it's not so simple, but it's way more simple than to learn like 1,000 different patterns just for the Mixolydian plus 10,000 licks. With this simple way, you get an understanding and a feeling for the fretboard, and then start to hear. Hear what you want to play. Then start to hear where you want to go. That's the main goal, not to play licks. The main goal is to get a feeling for the fretboard, to get a visualized fretboard and understanding of the structures on the fretboard, and that's the key to mastering later on the Mixolydian mode in a smooth jazz guitar setting. Yo guys, I've been talking a lot now. If it was too fast for you, I'm gonna write down the stuff. I'm gonna write down those patterns and also a little selection of licks as an inspiration for you guys, and then you can start working with the material, also with this cool backing track. And once you have the thing down, this backing track is only one chord, so you can completely focus just on this. Once you get this thing running, then you can start moving it with different chords, and then you can switch between chords, but first you need to figure out the whole thing. That's why the backing track is only with one chord. You can download the stuff in the HPCrazy guitar community. Please join there. Please become a premium member in order to support the work which Dr. Pink and me are doing for the guitar community, but also to get this really cool and professionally produced files. I produce them. So now I lost my line. Well, I never have a line, I just talk. Yeah. Anyhow, please become a premium member if you love my channel. Subscribe, share to the world. I mean, Dr. Pink are existing, and keep the guitar playing up in these crazy days. It's probably the only reliable thing, playing guitar.